Hello everyone and welcome back to APWC. In this video, I will be sharing my thoughts on the 97th Academy Awards just like last year, which if you haven't watched, then do check it out by clicking on the iCard above. So without wasting any time, let's begin.
Ready.
Mad respect for Conan O'Brien. I know how difficult it is to host a show of this stature without being offensive, and he pulled it off with grace. Last year it was Jimmy Kimmel, and I loved his hosting skills as well. The intro jokes were quite funny and smart. I genuinely had some good laughs.
We did not use AI to make this show. No AI. Yeah. We used child labor. के लोगों को नमस्कार वहाँ सोबाहो चुकी है तो मुझे उम्मीद है कि आप नाश्ते आए के साथ ऑस्कर के आनंद
ये मुंह से सुपारी निकाल के बात कर रहे बाबा.
Let's start with the animated feature film. I have a tough time watching animated films, and the only film I watched in this list is The Wild Robot, which I liked so much that I ended up adding it in my best movies of 2024 list, which you can watch by clicking on the iCard above. Coming back to Flow, a Latvian film with no dialogues, started its production in 2019 and lasted 5.5 years using the free and open source animation software Blender. Kudos to the team to have so much patience and come up with such a great film that I'm yet to watch. For Best Screenplay, from a writer's POV, I feel all the films nominated had a spellbinding screenplay. However, Anora had a very different style of storytelling, which I adored. Before watching the film, I thought it was going to be serious, but it was quite comical and chaotic. For adapted screenplay, I was rooting for A Complete Unknown, which I watched recently and felt it was great from an adaptation POV. Also, I haven't watched Conclave, so I cannot comment on how great of an adaptation it is, but I'll surely watch it. For Best Makeup and Hairstyling, both Nosferatu and A Different Man had some quirky makeup and hairstyling, but if you can make Demi Moore look like this, then maybe you deserve the award. Next, for costume design, all the nominees had great costume design, especially Nosferatu with its 1800s setup, but Wicked obviously won.
It's the perfect movie for anyone who's ever finished watching The Wizard of Oz and thought, sure, but where did all the minor characters go to college?
Also, Margaret Qualley's beautiful jump scare for giving a tribute to Bond was quite distracting, but I loved it. After having a 27-film Bond marathon, I'm working on a video for ranking all the films, and I'll be releasing it soon, so stay tuned. Next, for film editing, Anora did have great editing. It had all the right elements which kept you hooked throughout the film, so I think this award was well deserved. On the other hand, The Brutalist needed better editing to make its runtime crisp.
Yeah. No, I love The Brutalist. I really did. I didn't want it to end, and luckily it didn't.
For sound design, all I gotta say is well deserved. The sound design for certain sequences in Dune Part 2 are enough to give you goosebumps. Now, for visual effects, let me say that this was a tough choice to make. All the nominees were great, and there is no doubt that each of them had something unique and better than the other. Still, Dune Part 2 had a realistic edge over the other films, and hence ended up winning. For cinematography, which in my opinion is something I always look forward for, it's almost like a prerequisite for making the films look beautiful, scenic, and visually aesthetic. Dune Part 2 had picturesque visuals, but Dune Part 1 had already won an Oscar for Best Cinematography in 2022, so maybe it would have been unfair to give it again. Nosferatu did have its dark-toned visuals, which I adored, but maybe it wasn't sufficient to win. The Brutalist, on the other hand, had some great scenic moments, so I can understand why it won.
Well, we're halfway through the show. which means it's time for Kendrick Lamar to come out and call Drake a pedophile.
Coming to Best Actor in Supporting Role, Jeremy Strong gave a great performance as Roy Cohn in The Apprentice, but somewhere it was Kieran Culkin's portrayal of Benji in A Real Pain which showcased what depression actually looks like. Well, it's good to see the Roy brothers fighting even after Succession has ended. For actress in a supporting role, I feel Felicity Jones in The Brutalist was great and Monica Barbaro as Joan Baez in A Complete Unknown was phenomenal. Honestly, I don't know why Zoe Saldana won. I mean, she's a great actress, but I haven't watched Emilia Perez and I have no intention of watching it.
Okay.
Coming to Best Director, I was rooting for James Mangold as I'm a fan of his filmography. Also, The Substance was directed masterfully. Still, Anora did have an edge over these films. For actor in a leading role, which was presented by Cillian Murphy to Adrian Brody, but it felt like Thomas Shelby awarding Luca Changretta.
You serious?
He won for The Pianist in 2002 and had a little oops moment with Halle Berry during the 75th Academy Awards in 2003. Looks like Halle Berry decided to recreate the scene for the 97th Academy Awards. Sometimes I feel like I'm in the wrong line of work. Next, for actress in a leading role. Out of all the nominees, I felt that Demi Moore was the most deserving and surprisingly got snubbed. At the age of 62, her performance in The Substance is unmatched and unparalleled. I'm not taking anything away from Mikey Madison's performance. She has done a fabulous job. In fact, it was her performance that kept me glued till the end. But somewhere, Demi felt more deserving. So do comment down if you felt the same. Also, someone made this on Reddit and I couldn't stop myself from sharing this. Coming to the Best Picture. The Best Picture was also pretty difficult in my opinion. I mean, most of them had something unique and fresh about them. Picking Anora was the safest choice, and I think that's what the jury did. Maybe it was the subject of the film, or like Conan said,
I guess Americans are excited to see somebody finally stand up to a powerful Russian.
Keeping all the awards in mind, Anora ended up winning 5 awards. There are many categories that I have not covered, but they do deserve their Oscars and the recognition as well. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one. If you like this video, then do subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.